Hello, I'm Pascal Rocher. I'm a WordPress and tech facilitator. I'm a lover of routine, an advocate of fairness and self-care. I'm addicted to playing Sherlock in my life, my biz, and sometimes yours. This is the first episode of the Right Brain Geek podcast for 2019. You may want to star or bookmark this episode depending where you are listening. Listen once, let it soak, and come back to it with pen and paper, a bit of time to answer the questions and start building your user manual. What the last 3 years have taught me is that having one user manual makes life easier. Work is more successful and relationships are deeper and more rewarding. If you follow me on Insta, you may have seen a tiny bit of what I'm going to talk about today. It's not the first time I'm talking about the user manuals there. If you are not following me there yet, check me out. I'm Right Brain Geek actually basically everywhere, on Pinterest, on Twitter, so please do connect. I'm always happy to hear from listeners. So first thing, in your user manual, we need to know what fills your tank. When things get tough, you don't always have the brain power to remember all the things that help you. From little things you can do right here, right now, to special treats, I'd love you to write 10 things that are good for you. I'll give you some of mine. Walking in nature, having a nap, hugging people, meditating, listening to Gregorian music, making crepes. Don't ask, I don't know why there's some magic in making crepes for me. Cuddling with cat, dancing, having a catch-up with myself and my bullet journal, having some magnesium, or even better, having a bath with Epsom salt, drinking nice tea, admiring the horizon in a landscape. For some reason, it's really relaxing and it does refill my tank. There's something I've heard once about looking at the horizon to rest. That is something that's quite hard to do nowadays because every time you live in a town, your eyes and your sight is always blocked by some architecture. You don't have the rest of having your eyesight going really far out in the landscape. So there's something there. And always taking a deep breath. That's one quick and easy, always available tool for me to fill my tank. And as you know, mighty ones, if you ever listen to my podcast, I like to invite you to join me for one. So just before we do that, if you hear some weird noise outside, it's because I'm recording on the 31st of December 2018 and there are lots of fireworks, so if you hear any weird boom and noises, that's why. So let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And voila. So if you want to do all this exercise, please do pause the podcast as needed. Don't stop searching till you have at least 5 ways to recharge. And it's always better if it thinks you can always do. Whatever amount of money you have in your bank account, how many people you have around, they need to be, crap happens proof kind of thing. Once you have your list, put it somewhere you'll find it easily, in your diary, in your wallet, wherever it's easiest, because you need to be able to reach out to it whenever. Second question or point of focus. Imagine we are December 2019, the 31st, so basically nearly a year later if you listen just as I first launched this episode. Imagine that something that's been weighing you down has disappeared. How do you feel? Actually imagine how your whole body would feel. Maybe it's that credit card debt, maybe it's a difficult relationship, maybe it's only a website that doesn't do what you want. Just imagine and do feel how it feels when that is gone. Now we are going to write it somewhere that's easy to look at, easy to refer to it. As long as it's easy to use for you, anything goes. It can be a Google Doc, it can be a page of your bullet journal. I do love a bullet journal. So you can title it Future Me and use the present tense to write down all those feelings. I really want to have you feel the relief and the joy and everything you feel. So that may be something like, I feel so light and joyful, now that's debt is paid off, it's like I can breathe again. That kind of sentence. Just really, really put all your hearts in it so that if you read it, it can really help you reconnect with that vision of happiness and joy and expansion and all things great in life. Now back to this big thing that you want disappeared. I'll call that your ugly beast. So when you look at where you are now, where you want to be once that ugly beast is vanquished, what is the tiniest thing you can do to make a progress? Or what's the biggest, more urgent pain to address? Maybe there's a really tiny step, or maybe it's a really small habit that could help. Maybe, talking about credit card debt, maybe it's just waiting 7 days before you buy anything big so you don't have to buy anything else on top using that credit card. Maybe it's cancelling Netflix and put the amount you pay for Netflix on reimbursing that debt. Maybe it's making the list of what is trouble with your site. Maybe it's reading a book or a tutorial and learn how to solve a problem. I would love you to write this down. This is your task my future self will thank me for. And that's going to be a really important task for you for at least, let's say 12 weeks. When I look back on what I've done in the past, something I really don't like the consequences of, I have that weird feeling that I robbed myself from something great by doing repeatedly a tiny thing that was vaguely good, not even that good sometimes. Sometimes it's instant gratification or trying to release stress or treat myself with something that's not that good, like, a donut from the supermarket, something that really doesn't taste great and that you kind of have regret as soon as you've bought it and eaten half of it. Because when you look at it, I've chosen for a few minutes of sugar high and stress release something that's not good for my health, something I could have saved £1, not buying it, and that pound could have made interest babies with week after week if I put it on a saving account. And I know it's only £1. I know, I can hear you say that. Yes, but how many did I get the last 10 years? The last 20 years. Oh, yeah. The only interest I got from them are the inches around my thighs, which aren't really useful. So now I've got my budgeting app, WayNAB. It's a software I really do love. And I've set up a category that's called My Millionaire Choice. If you haven't read The Millionaire Next Door, please do. Even if you don't plan to be a millionaire, or if you can't imagine yourself be a millionaire, it's just a great way to shift your mindset around living a good life and around frugality. So it's still a bit of an experiment. Maybe experiment has been the word for my year in 2018. So as I do these little things of putting money in this saving account, saving category, way in AB, I may see at the end of the year actually how much I've been saving, and I can thank myself for making the right choice that is helping me instead of, robbing me from the good stuff. Another list for you in your user manual. Things to do to celebrate, because you work hard, you hustle, you do all the things, but do you celebrate? So important. If you work hard, you need to celebrate hard. And I can hear you say, oh, but I haven't got the time, I haven't got the money. That's why you need to work out a good list, because you don't need the money and you don't need a lot of time to celebrate. Because you don't want to do like I used to do. You don't want to buy that crappy donut that you regret, and that's not enjoyable enough and not bringing good things enough. So now I've replaced it with seeing friends, calling friends, dancing in the kitchen, watching a good TV series episode or something nice on YouTube, maybe having a coffee in a nice cafe with good vibes. Same way your fill your tank list is at least in part doable without any other people or without any money. Please list things you can do no matter what, because you need to be celebrating even tiny achievements. The more celebration, the more gratitude in your life, the better your life's going to be, I promise you. Please making it easy to celebrate and really look for all the things that brings you joy, happiness, raise your vibration, anything good that's easily accessible. I promise you, there are more than you can think of just out of the blue. So please take some time, do the exercise. It's really, really worth it. After your big ugly beast, there are small other things that can really get you down. It's like that tiny, tiny pebble in your shoe when you walk. It's tiny, it's not a big deal, but it is so annoying, and you keep thinking about it and you can't enjoy the walk and you don't walk as fast. So let's see, what are the pebbles in your shoes right now? Maybe you have to travel and that makes you feel unsettled. Maybe it's going to parties where you don't know people and you feel a bit awkward and you don't know what to do. Maybe it's days you don't have great energy or have no work and you struggle keeping your mood up. All these things, because they're not that big, but they come back more often, they're like a small leak. It's only a drop every second or so, but at the end of the year, that would be a big water bill. So once you have your list, we need to find your tool to make it better. Maybe you plan to go to this party 2 hours instead of the full evening, so you don't have as much stress. And it's a limited time, so it's not as big an annoyance. It feels like you can cope better. Maybe you organize a skill swap day with a friend, so you can practice and grow when you don't have work, and you can have a laugh. It's always good for the soul, it's good for business. It's easy. Maybe it's packing something small and light that makes you feel home on the road. Like my little coaster I take everywhere. I've been a nomad this year. I've given up my room last December, for those of you who don't know, because I wasn't sure where to go. I wanted to leave the UK, but I haven't decided last year where I wanted to go. So I had to visit places, so I couldn't pay for rent in London and travel. So I thought, well, I can just give back my room, travel, pay only for where I'm actually living. And it actually lasted much longer than I thought, because work has taken me abroad and traveling. So in the end, instead of being a 5-6 month thing, it's been a year, and it's going on still now that we are starting 2019. And it's been an amazing way of learning more about me, refining my user manual. And one of the things that's been really helpful, and it's so tiny, it could be ridiculous, but it actually made a difference, was to take with me that small coaster. And as soon as I would sit somewhere, I would put that coaster on the table. That would be my place where I would put my mug, and I would be home. And it's only a coaster, it's flat, it's not fragile because it's just cardboard, super light, super fine, easy to transport even when I was flying. And it does make a difference. It's just that constant point in a year that's been so adventurous. I've never had a year like this, to be honest. But it was the constant point that was the thing I could trust. I was always there. You never know how much impact a small habit can have on you. If you haven't listened to episode 39 with Giza, please do, because she's amazing, and we talk about small habits and how you can really build on it, and we have a good laugh. So please go back if you haven't listened to it yet. Just go and check for Giza Thalberg, episode 39. Finally, this little user manual I've built also includes things I need to be careful of. That's usually things that I do love doing, but if they add up, that's going to put too much strain on me, and that's going to send me down if I don't refill my tank or if I don't pace myself. So as a massive introvert with energy issue, if I socialize too much, if I drink too much coffee, if I have too much music or podcast always on the go, if I skip my weekly review or my gratitude habit, then doom happened. I really need silence, I really need my weekly review, I need my me time. So it's not always something that's obvious, why all of a sudden you feel exhausted or why you feel blue. But playing Sherlock in your life, just, journaling or logging how you feel and what you've done so you can really go back and join the dots. I can't tell you how useful it could be for you. I promise you, it's going to be so useful. For me, there's life before my user manual and the life after. The last list I'd like you to work on, it's a really important list. When you realize you need help, sometimes you freak out, sometimes your brain is not really clear, you need to have the list of the people and the resources that are within your arm reach. Because there's always more solutions and always more people to help you than you think when you freak out and you're exhausted. Believe me, that's the lesson I took from 2018. I had many times I was just exhausted. I've kept myself to myself, trying to sort something out, and finally ended up calling someone and in 30 seconds talking about whatever I was facing. They were helping me brainstorm and showing me, proving me that there was a solution that was much easier than the ones I was thinking of. So list the friends you have who are good to call and maybe why they are good to call. Some people, they're amazing to help you laugh about what's going on. Some people, they will be amazing at hugging you and telling you it's going to be okay. Some people are brilliant at bouncing ideas when you need to really dissect something and brainstorm and find out a new out-of-the-box solution you haven't thought of yet. Maybe it's all the virtual mentors you can look up to and go read their blogs. For example, you've got Neil Patel for SEO. You've got little old me for all things WordPress and tech and system. So you can always send me a little message and maybe I've got a resource for you. I compile lots of resources on my Pinterest account. Check me out, Right Brain Geek. always easy, the same name everywhere. Or maybe it's something specific, and if you let me know, I have a list of lots of tutorials I'm creating this year for you, so that could be an occasion for me to create a video or tutorial for you. So do reach out. You never know. Today on Twitter, Aaron Manker just created a fab little Twitter thread with 30 tips to do a better podcast. Amazing. You have so many virtual mentors out there just within your keyboards. You can reach out to, ask questions, connect, learn from. And you've got more tools as well than you think. When you look for solutions, you can always go to Google and check what you can do with only what you've got. Because you don't always need all the bells and whistles. You can simplify things. And that's going to be a blog post really soon showing you all my really low-key solutions to do things. Or maybe it's a list of people you know you can rely on to take some work off your hands. It can be a coach, you can ask questions. It can be a friend or a family member to take care of the kids. Maybe it's a VA that can help you do some work. Again, like myself, I do help people setting up websites, and it's something that's quite cheap compared to proper full-on website done, because I know lots of you are under pressure budget-wise, but you still want to have something that works properly, is set up like the pro, so you can really build on it once you've got all the money. You want things done properly with good practice. You just don't have the money for a big design website, but there's other options. You've got the technical safe install, so you are sure you're not doing anything wrong, and then you have the key for a website that's installed properly with a really simple theme. Quite often you can use the one that's delivered with WordPress. That's just a free one, and it's just simple and clean and nice, and that's all you need when you start, basically. And you can build up on it. But that takes the pressure and the stress off you, because someone is building the website for you and you know you can rely on it, instead of spending hours trying to find a solution and be anxious about it. Just pay a really small fee, get someone to do it. It's going to be done in an hour because they know how to do it. And you can focus and spend that hour doing work that could actually bring income, and that's actually your zone of genius, as they say. So here we are at the end of this episode. I hope your user manual is going to help you as much as it has helped me. Remember to give yourself love daily. Love as in long-term view. That's to remember your future self and what is the ultimate goal you have. Because too many times we decide from emergency to emergency or day by day. And I know sometimes it's necessary, but that won't help you get what you really crave. So long-term view, that's the L of love. O is for organization and routine. Having a toolbox and a regularity will help you, serves you, removes friction, and that has a huge impact on how life unfolds. Just knowing what to do when things go wrong, or when you're just tired, or anything, because life is not a smooth sailing. Do we agree? Oh yeah. It just really, really helps. So keeping in order something that's organized for your life or your business, important to look at it daily. V is for vitality. Do you give yourself rest? Do you give yourself good food that helps your body thrive? Do you know what your body needs? Do you know what your mental health needs? Put a bit of that and give yourself that gift. For me, V is also vegan food, because that's the food that really nourished me the best for now. That's my life is always, I think, forever now an experiment, so that may change. But for now, vegan food is the V in love. And E is for emotional support. because we are feeling beings. We are not just being, we feel. We need to talk to friends, we need to connect, meditating, talking to a psychologist, opening up to our partners and family about our needs. That is important, mighty ones. Really important. So, again, remember to give yourself love daily. Long-term view, organization, vitality, and emotional support. So, to help you remember this week, I'm creating a little pack of graphics to put on your phone or on your desktop or on your vision board. So you can look at it, visualize it, remember it, and keep that as a compass for your year. Yeah, this weekend from the 5th of January 2019, and there will be a little email form where you can put your email, and you will have all those images as a gift from me to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me. I think it's the first time I do a solo episode that's that long. Thank you so much for being a listener to this podcast. Here's a reminder to our new pace. It's going to be twice a month, first and third Tuesday every month. There will be a solo episode and a guest to help you create a business that feels like your favorite outfit. Because I do believe that if you create a business for yourself, there's no need of keeping things like they were in a corporate job with something that's a bit itchy or too tight or too loose. It needs to be something where you feel good, look good, and enjoy a nice, healthy profit to live the life you want. So this is what I wish for you mighty ones for 2019. A fantastic year with a gorgeous life, successful business that feels good, and please do let me know how I can help. You can also leave a review on iTunes. Every review I get warms my heart. I can't express as much. I will do. I'm learning how to express myself more. Opening up is not always an easy thing, I know, mighty one. So I'm applying what I preach. I shall express myself more. Thank you so much again for listening, and to a bright 2019. Welcome, mighty one.